and some various sounds thrown in along the way. Such as the scissors sound. I do want to get a barbershop fit up here soon. I might film it tomorrow for May 1st, for Friday. I'm putting this second video up on the 29th because the first video is the Tales from the Crypt page turning is doing awful, so I figured I'd throw up a second vid and then skip Thursday the 30th, and then most likely either a gameplay or the barbershop are gonna go up the start of May 1st, so some bubble wrap here. Ramble for a few minutes here, then throw on another sound. But yeah, that's what I want to do. Start May off with. I can't believe May's already here. What else is new, right? Time flies pretty much no matter what. It really does. No matter how good or bad things are going. Time pretty much moves. Outside, if you're sick or something's wrong with you, I feel like that it slows down a little bit. In your mind, of course. But do some hand sounds as well. I actually played a little bit of Oblivion for like 2-3 hours yesterday. I was like, I gotta play something. That's always kind of a nice game to throw on, like an Elder Scrolls type game. Kind of get lost in the world for a little bit and do some shit. I ended up buying I wanted to buy a house. I bought a house in Brazil. It was like $4,000. It was much cheaper than the other ones. There might be one in the Imperial City that's actually cheaper. But, like the shacks or whatever on the outside of the kind of like right on the outside of the Imperial City. It's like, screw it, but now I gotta save up some money to buy stuff because I want to get like the storage stuff and throw all my shit in there. I always like to do that because I think a lot of people in those games, I hoard all the stuff. Like, I don't want to drop stuff, even though I just could. It doesn't matter. But I'm like, I can't. So I've been going to the caves and the ruins or whatever. Is it the Dunmer ruins? I forget. Or is that Morrowind? And hoping bandits are in there because then I get their weapons, sell the weapons and stuff, look for the enchanted weapons and shit. The Varla stones are also in some of those ruins or whatever, so those are worth like $1,000. They don't sell for that much, but they're also nice because they recharge your weapons, your any enchanted weapons or whatever. I had a little blister on my finger that I popped. I had a band-aid on it the other day. It's shitty out today. Rained pretty much all day yesterday. Not all day, but a good amount. It was good. I mean, we need the rain here, so that's good. Might get over to the place later where I got the quack shot. This is to me is a might get over there today. Maybe pick up another Genesis game if they have them still. I always like doing this with the underrated sound. To me is the. Now this isn't as good, but there's certain things where you page turn where it sounds really good, where it's like a thicker kind of paper or whatever. This one's not bad, but it's not as good. Good old game manuals. I also grabbed Chrono Cross because PlayStation cases too could make a good tapping sound. I mean, any kind of, I guess, CD case, jewel case, as they call them. This is a game I actually want to play. This is the sequel to Chrono Trigger. It's another one I ever played. I have that on the. It was originally a Super Nintendo game. I have it on the PlayStation. Like, it's like the Final Fantasy anthology or whatever, but it's Final Fantasy 4 and Chrono Trigger. Both Square games. This is. Oh no, they were Square Enix by the time. Really? When did this come out? Oh, this is a greatest hits version. I would assume when this came out in 2000, this would have been straight up Square. Because them and Enix hadn't merged yet, but it's possible the greatest hits version came out after. And they threw Square, maybe 2002 or whatever. Because when I say Final Fantasy X was still Square, I think it happened in like 02. I want to test this manuals. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. Final Fantasy Chronicles, it's called. I think the anthology has Final Fantasy 5 and 6. That's better. I love the sound of like a thick page or like a little booklet or like a, something like an instruction manual. I like that sound. It has to be a thicker kind of page though. I bet you those figures or whatever have some value now. This is United States of Liberty coins. I want this for them. The slipcover. This is two Statue of Liberty coins in here. I think these were 86. Maybe this was made. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 86. They both popped out. It's 100 years, Ellis Island. It's a $50 and $1. It's both silver dollars. Well, silver $50. Silver dollar. 1886 to 1986. Not a bad sound. tapping on that as well. I remember going to Ellis Island. It was a field trip in elementary school. United Nations was another one we went to in elementary school. It's kind of cool being close to New York City. Anybody in that kind of tri-state area probably did field trips. You can become upstate New York, Long Island, the five boroughs, Jersey. Even if even if you're coming in from like Pennsylvania, parts of Pennsylvania as well, and a lot of parts of Connecticut and stuff, you could get to New York City fairly quickly. Because we took the buses in, and that was from Massapequa, so it was during the day. It would have been before, and the traffic wasn't as bad, probably in the 80s, as it is now, but, probably would have taken maybe like 40, 45 minutes to get in there, depending on, well, the bus wasn't booking it, I'm sure. You can get into the city from like a place like Massapequa, Long Island, in 35 minutes, if there's no traffic. You can get in there pretty quickly, actually, even half an hour. Like, there's times where you're leaving the city, if you're leaving the city late, and traffic had hit, not even just, like, Manhattan itself, but everything. Staten Island, Queens, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Nassau, and Suffolk County, at almost any time of the fucking day. But, there's times where we used to leave the city, like, by car, not by train. You're leaving pretty late, you can get home and back out. It depends on where you're going on the island. Massapequa was kind of that, it's not a center point, but it's the edge of Nassau County. You can get back in like 30 minutes. Even a little quicker sometimes. Like if you're driving with somebody that's speeding. Which is also stupid. I'm talking like speeding. I'm not talking like 75. I'm talking like 90 miles an hour. Oh, 75. I forget what that. Was it 55, 65 on some of the highways? It's a little more here. I think it's like 70 here on a lot of the highways. 70, 75, the parkways. I'm trying to remember. At least you see them all the time. These signs. Ramble here a little bit. Again, and then go back into the sounds. But yeah, we went to the United Nations, Ellis Island. I'm pretty sure I went to Statue of Liberty. Then high school we had the alternative program had the. I'm pretty sure in high school, like the rest of high school, went down to like D.C., Washington D.C. at a point. I had went to Washington D.C. with my family when I was younger, like when we were very younger. But we went in high school to Smokey Joe's Cafe and play in the city. I've only been to. I went to the American Psycho play, which is incredible. I probably talked about it on the channel. I definitely would have. And the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child one, which was really another good one. Like, even if you're not a fan of the story, which I could see, like, the effects and everything, it was so well done. And some of the stuff they did, you're like, whoa. And that was a two-parter. Like, the first part was earlier, maybe like 12 to 1 or whatever to 1. And then you had like a 4-hour gap, so we went to eat. Went to this Cuban restaurant, I believe it's a Cuban restaurant, Victor's, which was close. And then you come back. It's like, you gotta make a day of it with that one. American Psycho was probably about maybe an hour and 45 minutes, I don't know. Maybe it's a little longer, I don't know. The length of plays. They always have intermissions, but the Potter one's intermission was literally like 3-4 hours. Like, it was like, go out and do your shit. We gotta now do all this crap that's gonna take time and stuff. But in American Psycho, they threw out like the fake money. I picked up a bunch of it. I still have it somewhere. I don't know. I think I only went to those three. Maybe there was a fourth one at some point, but I cannot remember. I've talked about the city before. I'm not a huge fan. Like, going in for the day or something is fine. Maybe staying overnight, but I'm just not. It's too much for me. Like, it's too much. It's too much noise. And there's people that love that kind of hustle and bustle. They like the. I could see the appeal in a way, but if you're not that type of person, like, it's not. And cities, like, more so a city like Manhattan, because it's New York City, because it's an island. You got to get out through bridges. I mean, you could obviously have a boat or something. You could realistically swim. If you're a good swimmer, you could swim for a bit too. But you're kind of trapped if shit goes down. There's other cities that I'm sure have a similar vibe. But, the more cities that are in bigger, they actually have land. You can just book it through and not have to worry about crossing a bridge or something. So you have that kind of more of a, like, you're, oh my god, I'm kind of trapped. I gotta get over the bridge. Just because you're on an island, it's weird. You can say the same thing about Long Island, but Long Island's bigger. So it doesn't have the same feel, but you do need to escape via bridges at a point, unless you can get on a boat. But you have one. But it's so noisy and a lot of beeping, yelling. I think I talked about the last time. Did I mention this story? Not the last. This wouldn't have been the last time I was in the city. But I forget what we were doing. It was like a scavenger hunt thing. I think we were in there for that day. Like, a bunch of teams did scavenger hunts, and it was like me, my fiance, her friend, and at the time her fiance, and then another couple they had known. And you're going around the city. I think you have to take pictures or get stuff from certain places, certain establishments. I think that was the time, either way. We're walking back and this guy just literally shit in his hand. I swear it didn't even touch his hand. He like flung it with his hand in one motion as it was coming out. And I had to avoid it. I was like, oh my god. Stepping it, I was like, yep, there you go. Not that you can't see shit like that. And in small towns or medium-sized towns as well. Cities will have more of a concentration of weird shit and disgusting stuff. And violent stuff, but it's just, there's too many. We went to see the tree the one time. We went to see Santa at is it the JCPenney, the Macy's, I think. And we went by the tree, and I started to get like the anxiety and panic because it was getting so tight. I was like, I can't deal with this. People pushed up against the barricades and stuff. I was like, who enjoys this? It's like when people go into the city, to Times Square, to see the ball drop, and you see the people all crushed together. It's like, who's enjoying that? Now, if you happen to live in an apartment right there and you could watch it, that's cool. You gotta have a lot of money to do that, because I'm sure those apartments are $5,000 a month. If not more. But I was just like, no. And just like, everything's just, it's more hectic. And listen, that's not my kind of speed, Even Long Island has a faster pace than I'd like. But this is like cities, especially like New York City, like, it's just, you can see it if you're just visiting. It's just everywhere. There's people everywhere doing things. Sometimes unsavory. But there's so much cool stuff in there. You have the Museum of Natural History, right? That's the one that's in there. Central Park is huge. Like I said, you got Broadway and off-Broadway plays. The Madison Square Garden. Tons of restaurants. Tons of just museums in general. And everything else. There's just so much to do. But I'm just not a big city person. Although Savannah is a city in Georgia It's a small, very small city. That's more my speed. It's a slower pace. There's not as many people. The second you have less people, the pace is just gonna be slower. And it's just a beautiful city and just nice parks and everything. We want to go back there again soon. And it's cool now being in North Carolina. We're only about 4.5 hours from Savannah, from where we are, so that's nice. The cat is here. Let's get some purring. Want to come down our pudgies? She's not going to want to be annoyed. It's the pudgies. Look, pudge. She's like, oh, get the hell out of here. Yeah, I definitely want to get back to Savannah. Like I said, part of me, I don't know if she wants to, but I want to go to Indianapolis, Cincinnati, places that are they're not overly far from where we're at. You can go to like Kentucky and stuff. There's places that are very close. Tennessee's right there. We went to Tennessee back in 2016 to visit her friend, who's now also in North Carolina. And that was in Knoxville, and we went to Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg. That's close, obviously, and stuff like Virginia. If you want to go to King's Dominion and Busch Gardens. And you got everything in South Carolina as well. Atlanta's not far. I went to Atlanta to visit my brother in '94. When he was living there, my half-brother, when he was living there, went to a minor league hockey game at the Omni, which is where the Hawks played at the time. The Atlanta Hawks. He didn't live in it. Like, he lived in like a suburb of Atlanta. I don't know the exact name of the place. I can't remember it anyway. There's my one sister's in Georgia too. Like I said, I've said this in the past. They're all half siblings. My dad had kids that are in his marriage previous to my mom. They're all 9 to like 12 years older than I am. We've seen stuff down here too. I think I mentioned the story where we were in the ER here. My fiance was getting her neck scanned from the accident we had gotten in before we came down here, like the night before we were going to come. I would have talked about this too. But it was still bothering her. She wanted to get another scan. And there was a woman that was, I don't know what she was ODing on. And because apparently there's a drug problem in this area. Because they thought my fiance wanted painkillers. They were really like, and she's like, I just want my neck scan. I don't care about any fucking painkillers. That's the same thing with like me. Like, I don't even like taking painkillers. I've taken them like, I remember I got 2 wisdom teeth pulled. They gave me them. It didn't even hurt. So I popped one. I was like, I don't care. I don't want this. Because they ravage your fucking body. It's like, I don't want to be taking these fucking things. Unless it's beyond necessary for me to. You know, the pain's so insane. But this woman she was done, and there was like, I think we were the only two. There was one other person at the time. And all of a sudden my fiance's like, oh my God, what is she doing? She like reached down her pants and like shit herself and like was flinging the shit everywhere. I was like, oh, we're in the city again. But they had to take her. Like they like led us and this other person that was in there through these back ways to get into a different area. Because they had to clean now. And the nurse was like, oh man, here we go. Because this woman had been in there before. Because you hear the conversation because the cops came. And they were like, we can't do it. Like, we can't arrest her. She's done nothing illegal. And I think she ended up getting in touch with family, or somebody got in touch with her family, and they got her. You feel bad. You're like, this is terrible. You know, you want this woman to get better and clean or whatever. But I just heard she's out of it, like, oh, fucking throwing it. It's just like, oh my God. And we were here for like, at the time, maybe not even 3 weeks. But my point is, things happen everywhere. Big cities, small towns, medium towns. So plenty of shit on Long Island. Plenty of it. Anytime you're at a train station, expect a weirdo to come up to you and be weird. I remember, funny, I was waiting in Babylon to take the train home from work. And the guy came up to me, and I'm standing there, and you can kind of tell. I was kind of like, oh, here we go. And he was asking something that it was something normal. He's like, oh, you thought I was going to ask you for money, didn't you? We both started laughing. Because they come up and they want to use your phone. They want money. They're telling you something, you know. And you're just like, please stop. Especially me, it's like, please don't talk to me. People start fighting at the train stations and stuff like. And then you get into the city and Penn Station, it's even worse. Or on the subways, but oh, I forgot the sounds. I start rambling there. I forget the sounds. Hopefully that woman from the hospital here has gotten clean, but I don't know. Because like I said, you're like, oh yeah, she's been here before and stuff. Hopefully, she ends up getting the help she needs. The cat's like, what are you doing? Yeah, you want pets. Now then you'll get bitey. You get overstimulated, you get bitey. I'm gonna pop this gum out in like 2 minutes. I'm not a huge fan of chewing gum for long periods. I'll finish the last 10-15 minutes of the ramble will be without gum. Here she is, just a little more noticeable, right, bitch? Yeah, I got pardon. This is flavor and stuff, but what else? We are going to probably hit that park again later and walk again, which will be nice. Like, go down this really nice park, did a good job with it. I think it was built like a couple years, 3-4 years ago. I'm trying to think of some good Long Island stories. Like people doing fucking weird shit. There's so many. I mean, Massapequa, where I used to live, had some of the serious stuff, and that was where Amy Fisher, was that her name? Shot Mary Jo. About a few ago, that happened in was it Biltmore Shores in Massapequa. A lot of wild shit in Massapequa. A lot of known people have come from Massapequa too. The Baldwins all lived in Nassau Shores. Seinfeld went to the high school. I don't know if he went there. I don't think he lived there too long. I could be wrong. I think it's Dee Schneider from Twisted Sister. There's like a lot. Like if you look at Massapequa and like celebrities, like there's a ton of people for some reason. Massapequa. I don't know. I remember. I think was I doing? No, I probably wasn't on. YouTube. This channel I wasn't on. It was the movie Young Adult. Charlize Theron was in it. They were filming for that movie in Massapequa Park. They were filming, I think, in Woody's Bar, and they might have filmed in one other place. But I remember I was taking a walk, and I'm like, I'm going to walk that way. I'm going to go across the tracks. Cause the trains, they wanted a spot that was like had a train station in the background and had like that towny feel. A lot of Long Island towns along the Long Island Railroad have like these little villages that go down, a bunch of bars and restaurants and stores. And Massapequa Park was one of them. Not all of them, like Belmore has it, I think. Other ones do not, because it's either houses by the train station or whatever. And they wanted that look, and they filmed there. And I remember I was walking, I was like, what is up? There was like the big lights and everything, and there was like trailers. I was like, what's going on? I looked it up, and I found out they were filming that. I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool. I don't think I ever saw the movie, though. Actually, no, I think I watched some of it where they were filming there. That part, I just wanted to see that part. I didn't give a shit about the rest of the movie. I remember walking, it's being weird. I mean, it's not that weird for woods, but I used to walk they have the path that goes from Massapequa all the way up to Oyster Bay. There's a concrete path. It's a bike path, walking path, that goes all the way from Massapequa. It starts at Massapequa at Merrick Road and goes all the way up to Oyster Bay, I believe. And they have, like, in certain parts, like especially in the Massapequa course, they have like wooded paths through the woods you can walk. The trees are marked and stuff. And I'm going through there. I used to walk through there a bunch. And I'm walking, and in the corner of my eye, there's just a person standing there like this. Not even doing it. They weren't even looking at me. They were just kind of standing, like looking wherever they were looking. And I was like, no, I'm just going to break off. I'm going to get through the end of this path and go back to the main path. There's always somebody in the woods. I swear there's always somebody in the woods. I was like, no, this guy's just, like, he's just standing there. Like, it wasn't even like he was looking, doing something. Literally standing there, staring off into whatever. He might have been staring at me at first, and then I kept moving, and then he was still staring wherever he was looking. But I do remember that. They have a lot of good urban legends. Everywhere has urban legends, Like they have the Mary's Grave and Sweet Hollow Road. If you stop your car underneath this overpass, this little kind of bridge, it won't start up again. You got to push it out. How many towns across not only the U.S. but the world have these ones, right? Mary's Grave is Mount Misery. Mary's Grave is something that actually, I think, happened in there. Somebody was killed in there, I think. There's a little more to that one, but I swear there's always those ones. There's always you can't start your car, or and even like Ashboro, they had one. We went on the Halloween little trolley tour through the town, and the people that are running it telling you stories and stuff. And there was one like how this car was flashing the high beams, and then they overtake him and disappear. I feel like that's the kind of story is all over the world as well. But it's still fun to hear, You get a lot of cool stories like that in this town. We did a Christmas trolley tour too. That was really cool. Both very well done. I think they were done by the same people. And they play the bars, they read stories and stuff. It was really cool. They give you the history about things. I think that one had another one. There was another, like, I don't know, murder somewhere. I don't know when it took place. Like a radio station. It was a ghost in a radio station or something. I forget. I love that kind of stuff. I love it. The town area here is I love it. The little town area. It's really nice. I love going in there and walking and go to the antique stores and stuff. It's really cool. I like that kind of stuff. I like walking. I like walking through towns. It is a nice town. They got a lot of nice restaurants and stuff, and antique stores, and some bars and shit. It's cool. It's a little theater and stuff. But it was really cool. Probably stop it here by like 40 minutes. I'm getting hungry. I gotta eat some lunch. like I said before in the past, I put them off a lot when I'm like, I've said this a million times, if I'm not in the mood to do role play, I'm just not going to do it. And I wanted to film this barbershop one like 3-4 days ago, but I'm not, when I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it. When it comes to role plays, like I have to be feeling it to do them, because it's not going to come out well to me, I'm not going to like the quality of it. Because I tried it once in the past, and I think I stopped like 5-6 minutes in. I'm like, this is just not, you can tell I'm not into it. I'm getting annoyed, because when I'm in it and I want to do it, that's when my mind's working fast, so I can immediately be coming up with stuff on the fly while I'm filming it. If my head's not there and I don't have the idea in my head well enough, and then I start trying to come up with things and it's not working out, I start to get annoyed. So I only do role plays when I'm feeling it. I do need to do the second part of the job interview, the second part of that, the progress report part. I'm actually doing the same thing on Patreon, and I've done the second part of that, but that one's a little different than this one is, so it's kind of cool. Get a different one up there. That's for paid members, though, so if you are watching this as a paid member, you probably would have seen that one, maybe you haven't. But both of those role plays on here and on there are going to be in the shed at some point. I want to finally film in the shed after freaking 2 years of being here almost. But yeah, plenty more vids to come as always, right? Yeah, I gotta get two gameplays up for May. Gameplays are another one where I have to be in the mood to put a gameplay up. Because then sometimes when I play these games, sometimes I do well, sometimes it's just like, what am I doing? I think Condemned was one where I couldn't figure something out for like 15 minutes. No, it wasn't that long, but like 10 minutes. I'm like, oh god, this is terrible. Even though most of you are not going to care, it just still annoys me, Maybe it'll be the double exposure. Life is Strange. I can start that from the beginning and play a gameplay on that. And I am hoping to pick up Resident Evil Requiem this month as well, so maybe that'll be another gameplay, and you'll see a pickup vid on that. Because now it seems to be readily available on Best Buy. I look on Amazon, and it's coming the next day. Now all of a sudden they've got a fresh batch. Stop this one like 40 minutes. But an email here. But yeah, I was thinking about rehashing the video game collection bits. I might do a box Genesis game collection, but that probably won't view too well. Certain consoles don't. I think a lot of those older ones, we're talking Genesis, Super Nintendo, NES, don't do as well. PlayStation does alright. Nintendo 64, but like after that, Xbox, PS2, Cube, and stuff, those typically do fairly well. And the PS5, Xbox One are always going to do well. Switch does alright. But yeah, just a long ramble here today with some various sounds thrown in. There was gum chewing for about 28 minutes, and the following like 12-13 minutes is just no gum. Like I said with the gum sometimes, it's just I chew for a while, I'm like, I don't feel like doing it anymore. Although when you're not chewing the gum, it's better to have like a drink so you can quench your thirst as I'm rambling my voice